Hi again, everyone. This is Christina Mena, and I want to continue providing more information for free about what you can expect from a therapy session. So I did a couple of videos that were very quick and very practical in terms of how to reduce a little bit of your anxiety during these times. So right now, what I want to do is I want to help you understand what therapy is about and how you can look for your own therapist. This is a video I have been wanting to do for years. I always had a reason not to do it, and I really have been busy, raising a family, doing a lot of different things. But I realized this is probably the right time to start making these videos. The reason for that is because we are quick to take care of our physical health, but we're still very stagnant when it comes to taking care of our mental health. What I mean by that is that I have clients coming in and I can see during the first session that there's a lot of shame and there's a lot of guilt and there are a lot of feelings of, why am I here when I should have known better or I should have known how to find my own solutions. The reality is that we all need support throughout different moments of our life. Sometimes we're lucky to have a very, very supportive, loving family. Sometimes we're not so lucky. And sometimes, even though we have a supportive and loving family, they may not have the answers that you need. The reason for that is because we seek advice and support from family and loved ones. We think, well, they have our best interest in mind, so of course I'm going to ask them for advice. Here's the problem with that. I'm not saying don't have friends. Friends are great, and they're amazing when we need their support. The problem with going to a friend for a highly personal issue that's a very delicate situation is that they're going to give you advice based on their own experiences. So if you go to a friend for relationship advice and they went through a horrible experience of their own, similar to your situation before, they're going to take that experience, they're going to apply it to you, and they're going to tell you, oh, you should do this and this and this. Here's the problem though. That would have worked for them because they know better based on their own personal situation and their own personal problems. But that does not mean that that's the right choice for you. So the difference here is that a therapist is highly trained to be able to pick apart the very specific pieces of your situation and help you find a solution that works for you, a solution that works for your value system, from whatever religion or spirituality background you come from, with your cultural system. So you want to make sure that you still feel like you're doing things in the right way for yourself. And depending on who you are, if it's going to affect a lot of family members, then you also want to have someone who can help you navigate those solutions while still maintaining your integrity and mental health and others' integrity and mental health as well. So what can you expect from a therapy session? Well, to begin with, I would say start searching for a therapist online. If you want to email me as well, I can help you find a therapist that could work for you. Sometimes people have to go with the insurance route, and we completely understand. Times are tough, the economy is tough, and so if you have your insurance, then that's a great way to start looking for providers who accept your insurance and are in network with your insurance. Second, you do want to do some research on them. Look them up online. Give them a call, look at their website, get a feel for who they are. And if you feel like they're going to be a good fit because you just feel like it's going to work, give them a call, contact them. You have every right to ask questions about their education level. You should ask those questions. What type of therapist are you? What is your degree? What experience do you have? What do you specialize in? So I'll give you an example. I don't work with eating disorders. I don't work with active eating disorders. I'm not extensively trained in that. The time that I've received a call for that specifically, I always refer to a colleague who knows more about that, who's more specialized in that. In my case, I'm very specialized in trauma work as well as postpartum work. Postpartum meaning is the time after a woman has a baby. That's usually the first year after birth. So we're all going to have a very kind of specific skill set. That does not mean that we can't see your situation. It just means that if you happen to have those issues, which are very delicate and specific issues, we're able to take those on. So screen them, ask them questions. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. If you feel like after that first phone call, it's good for you to go see them, go see them. If you feel that you're just not feeling the connection, it could be for any reason, tell them. A good therapist will not get offended. A good therapist will listen to you and try to understand where you're coming from. If they have your best interest in mind, which most of us should, we're going to say, hey, try to give us one more chance because maybe this is exactly what's happening with other people in your life, right? Maybe the same pattern that you're experiencing with me is how you feel about the world. If for whatever the reason it's a situation that cannot be fixed, again, the therapist, if they're not offended and they're a good therapist, they're going to say, hey, I get that. I understand you don't think it's a good fit. I see your reasons why. So let me call some colleagues for you and give you some referrals, and hopefully they can give you some help, right? So what you want to look for from the very beginning is somebody who is level-headed, somebody who does not get offended easily. If you have a therapist who gets offended easily, leave, okay? That means they're either not properly trained or they're not able to actually be able to stabilize themselves in certain situations, and we can't go into details for that, but you have the right to leave. So you want to look for someone who's a good fit, someone who has the right education and training, someone who is able to actually help you with the specific issues that you're bringing to the table. And once you meet them, you may or may not like them and you want to figure out why, but you do want to tell them. The reason for that is because if you just leave, then it doesn't really help you or them. It's better for both of you to come to a conclusion together. Those are things you should look out for in the beginning of a therapeutic relationship. Something else that you want to see as you go on with therapy is, are they making goals for me, right? Therapy hopefully is not going on forever. It is long term, but it should not be going on forever. So the therapist should give you a couple of goals or objectives to work with. And this process is very collaborative. That means that they're going to be asking you, how do you feel about this? Do you think that that's a goal that you want right now? Or is that a goal that we should visit in 6 months, right? So you are going to be very active during this process. And I think that's great because it's very empowering for the client. Something else that might happen during this time is that you're going to be building rapport together. That means that you're going to be getting to know each other in a very confident environment, in a very safe environment. And as time goes on, and as you become more comfortable with each other, your therapist is going to start challenging you. And we want that, right? This is like if you go to a personal trainer. If they tell you to just kind of walk on the treadmill for 6 months, that's nice and very supportive of them to try that, but they're not really challenging you, right? A good personal trainer is going to start challenging you. They're going to start increasing the resistance, increasing the weight, increasing the frequency of time that you're doing things. It's the same thing with therapy. And at least I am the type of therapist, and a lot of us are, that we're very transparent with what we say. So I might just say, hey, we've been getting to know each other. It's session number 6. And today I'm going to start challenging you. But usually by that point, we're both ready. We're both ready for those challenges. So you want someone that, again, is willing to challenge you, willing to be supportive with you, and someone who is not going to tell you what to do. That sounds weird because I know a lot of people think therapy is advice giving. Therapy is not giving advice. Therapy is about helping you find solutions that work for you. If I were to apply my own life experiences to every single client that comes in, I would be a horrible therapist, right? Because I'm not really listening to what's important for them. So I'll give you guys an example. Let's say that you have somebody come into the office and they're balancing out the pros and cons. They're not sure if they want to get a divorce, right? My personal experiences could taint that person's therapeutic process. So I need to make sure that I keep my stuff in the background and I focus only with this person. So my questions might be, well, what do you think you want? What are your reasons for wanting that? How would this affect you? How would it affect your kids? If you look at all these factors together and you realize you still want this, then how can we help you move forward with that, right? So we're going to be asking a lot of questions that are very intimate, profound questions that maybe nobody has asked you before. The really great thing is that when we start doing this, I absolutely love this. Clients come back the next week and they go, you know what? I started thinking about those questions you gave me and I was thinking about it all week, and now I have more confidence in my decision. Now I understand what was holding me back from doing this or doing that, right? So it really, a lot of the work actually happens in between the sessions, not necessarily during the session. That's another thing. Some therapists, everyone's going to be a little bit different. Some therapists like to provide like worksheets and homework assignments. Some don't provide any homework. I like to do something in the middle. I'm not necessarily going to tell you that you have to do something between our sessions, but I will give you something to think about. And I will say, hey, you know how we talked about this one topic during the session? Do me a favor, write that down on your phone and bring it up once a day. And I want you to just think about what that feeling is like for you, or what that thought process is like for you, and monitor how you feel throughout the week. The reason I like to do this is because I think it's important for the client to start becoming independent and for the client to start knowing how to take care of themselves between sessions. Because again, we don't want therapy to take forever. You need to start becoming your own therapist through the process. So this is just a very kind of quick overall example of things that you can try to look for in a therapist and how you should be sort of feeling in therapy. Later on, I'll probably do some videos talking about what to do when you're not feeling the connection and when you're not feeling like it's progressing. But for now, in the meantime, I hope this can help everybody at home figure out if therapy is good for them and maybe take that first step. The first step can be very scary, but once you get started, it's a pretty great process. Thank you.